This move right here changes the Premier League, not just for the foreseeable future. I'm talking the next 5 Premier League seasons. Liverpool have launched a record €120 million bid for Alexander Isak. He has reportedly agreed terms on a 5-year contract. Ekitike, Alexander Isak, and Mohamed Salah in the same front line, with Florian Wirtz in a 10, McAllister and Gravenberch in a double pivot, makes Liverpool scary next season. This should shock the entire Premier League. If Liverpool sign Alexander Isak, which is looking incredibly likely right now, Arsenal need to go out there and add, alongside an Eberechi Eze, they need to also sign a Rodrigo or a Rafa Leao. We've got a lot to get into. Make sure you go down, drop a like on the video. If you haven't already, let me know your thoughts. We're less than 100 subscribers away from 70,000. The road to 100K is well and truly on. We're about 65, I think, away. So if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. Let's jump straight into what Fabrizio Romano has had to say. Liverpool's opening bid for Alexander Isak is worth £120 million package plus add-ons. Those add-ons could be anything from Golden Boot, winning the Premier League, Champions League semi-final, reaching the final, winning the competition, winning FA Cups, League Cups, bagging 20-plus goals in a season. Newcastle rejected as they won't open doors at least until finding a replacement, and it's not guaranteed at this stage. Isak insists with Newcastle on his clear desire to join Liverpool. Well, we know Newcastle's replacements have been the likes of Benjamin Sesko, where they've offered a package. They're also looking at Brentford's Johan Wissa, who had, I think, only Mohamed Salah scored more non-penalty goals in the Premier League last season. But his clear desire is to join Liverpool Football Club. And for me, this is a statement of intent. You're talking about the greatest summer transfer window of all time. Florian Wirtz, 120, 130 million pounds. Ekitike, 70 million pounds. Kirkes and Frimpong are combined of 70 million on top of Alexander Isak. They're not just showing the intent to win the Premier League next season. I think only PSG, as it stands right now, stop Liverpool. And most people would say, Henry, look, you're out of your mind. You're out of your mind. The situation with Liverpool is that they are stronger. And look, potentially they are. Liverpool's opening bid, official talks of Newcastle for Alexander Isak has been sent. Newcastle rejected as per the Athletic reports, but player has made clear desire to join Liverpool. No talks over new deals so far. Liverpool plan to bid again and insist soon. That for me, yeah, the fact that they're going to bid again is absolutely insane. Now, David Ornstein was the one who broke the original news, which is why Fabrizio is quoting from the Athletic. So this was David Ornstein's exclusive report earlier today. Newcastle reject bid from Liverpool for Alexander Isak. Initial approach informal, now a firm bid. Liverpool offer and turned down. Newcastle suggest deal with 2026 release clause. Senior teammates pushed 25-year-old to stay, but he wants to move. Look, I can sympathize with the Newcastle United fans because I've seen a similar situation when Man City went after Harry Kane. When you've got the best striker in the league on your books, who has just delivered Newcastle their first piece of silverware in 50-plus years, a guy that his record in a Newcastle shirt is absolutely phenomenal. He's, played in the Champions League for Newcastle, and this could be the second time playing there. 23 league goals last season with 6 assists in 34 games. 21 league goals with 2 assists the season before that in 30 games. And his first season in the Premier League, 10 goals in 22 games. That's what, 54 goals in about 100 or so games. That's a very, very good return. Good return in the Cups as well, scoring in the semi-final, home and away against Arsenal. For me personally, I do think this deal will happen. One key piece of information that Fabrizio Romano said was regarding a replacement. Now, Benjamin Sesko is obviously wanted by Manchester United. And Newcastle haven't had a good amount of luck this window. I'll be brutally honest with you. They wanted Trafford. He ended up signing for City. They wanted Brian Mbeumo. He ended up signing for for Manchester United. They were looking at Cunha. There's a lot of news going around right now regarding, I would say, bad PR about Newcastle. They're also looking at another attacking forward as well. They want to bring in two. Now, one of the targets that Newcastle are interested in, which will play a domino effect on the Alexander Isak deal, is Benjamin Sesko. And Man United have informed RB Leipzig about a plan to bid for Sesko and also show evidence to the player that he's the top priority as a new striker. Now, Sesko will decide in the next few days with Manchester United and Newcastle proposals on the table. For me, the striker that looks most likely to join Newcastle right now, which would enable Liverpool to sign Alexander Isak, would be someone like Wissa from Brentford. Now, Wissa might not necessarily be on the exact level as Alexander Isak. For some fans, Alexander Isak is trying to push for a transfer away from Newcastle is unacceptable. For some fans, Johan Wissa trying to push through a transfer to Newcastle is absolutely fine. Now, that's when it's your football club, it's obviously different because the emotion plays a big part. But footballers wanting out and why fans of any club, let's see what it says, have the right to defy logic. Here we have two players, both unwilling to fully engage with their current employers and training away. Apparently, Alexander Isak right now is training with his old football club at Real Sociedad in the north of Spain. It feels like a low-wattage version of those prisoners exchanged in Berlin during the Cold War. Two men standing at either end of the bridge, just desperate to reach the other side, but not able to move until they are given the nod. Look, for me, I can see Wissa being a good option for Newcastle. Romano put Johan Wissa has informed again today Brentford management about his desire to leave the club. He doesn't want to return to training, insisting on leaving to get Champions League club. Newcastle remain in active talks with Wissa. And they're also working on a deal to sign Benjamin Sesko. For me, I personally think this deal will happen. I look at the situation at hand with regards to Alexander Isak wanting out, and from a Liverpool perspective, you know they've got some unbelievable academy talent coming through. You know, we saw that the other day in their win over Yokohama. You know, NG Moa, you know, and Neoni look absolutely insane. They've also signed Will Wright. Everything at the moment is going in the right direction. Another player that's been linked is Anthony Gordon. I'll be honest with you guys, there is absolutely no way Newcastle United are going to sell Gordon and Alexander Isak in the same window. That's just very, very, very unrealistic. But I want to look at one fixture, and it's only the, I think it's the second game of the season. Alexander Isak could be playing against his old team at St. James's Park. Now, I think Liverpool get this deal done, and I think Newcastle get Wissa over the line. But imagine that, Monday night, under the lights, you know, at St. James's Park, Alexander Isak, like, that'd be absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. I think he forces the move. And for Newcastle, they need a big sale to help out their PSR and to help out their FFP. Every football club has been in this sort of situation. Arsenal, year after year, had to sell big players like Sami Nasri, like Fabregas, like Robin van Persie, etc., etc. You know, over the years, West Ham have had to sell the likes of Declan Rice, etc. The only club that really has held on to their stars and then maximised them for a huge profit is Tottenham. Look at the money we got for Harry Kane, 100 mil. We got 89 million for Gareth Bale when you look at the add-ons. A decent amount of wage for Kyle Walker. Decent amount of money for Luka Modric. But Tottenham are in a very different position to Newcastle due to the amount of revenue streams we have alongside our stadium. Newcastle aren't like that. So maybe for the foreseeable future, it's going to be very, very difficult for them to hold on to their stars. You know, Florian Plettenberg has come out. He's a very, very credible journalist out in the Bundesliga. And he has said that Newcastle have rejected an offer for Liverpool as per the Athletic. However, Isak still wants to join Liverpool. A verbal agreement, it says, on personal terms until 2031 has been reached, as revealed and confirmed. The offer was submitted after the agreement has been made. Negotiations are ongoing. A new offer is very, very likely. So it looks like it's going to happen, guys. It looks like it is going to happen. Let me know your thoughts down below. Make sure you drop a like. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you next time.